What is up, people? Look, my hands are doing this because I know I'm going to be drinking tequila in just moments from now. Hello, this is this is a rare moment in Rubin Report history. It's happened a couple times over the 13-ish years we've been doing the show, a double live stream day, but it is happening today. We are doing our Tequila Tuesdays, which we are going to roll out on the regular, as the kids say, starting this fall, because I'm about to go off the grid for August. We wanted to wait until at least some of you guys got your Copal delivered, and I've got the locals comments right here, and I know that a whole bunch of you have, and I've seen people have been sending me emails and pictures of bottles and making it to your bars and all of those things and all that good stuff. I know that not everyone has received your bottles yet, and thank you for your patience, and we apologize that not everyone has gotten your bottles yet. They are all, by the end of this week, the first several thousand will have all gotten out. We overwhelmed our distributor. We're doubling up with the distributor. We will not have this problem again. This was like an initial, holy cow, we sold an awful lot of tequila. Good problem to have, and I really do appreciate your patience, and I'm so glad. I have the locals comments right here. We're trying a little something different. I have an iPad with a little stand next to me. I can see pictures and things. We're going to show you guys. So anyone that's in locals, or if you're watching on Twitter, we can monitor Twitter. Do you have Twitter on your computer over there? All right, he's got Twitter over there. Wherever you are, on Instagram, I think we can do that too, right? Drink Copal on Instagram. If you guys are watching with us live right now, we can post pictures. So if you want to show us your bottle, and as you know, one of the very cool things that we did with these bottles is every single bottle is a unique piece of art. The art that you are seeing on the background here on every single bottle is different. So nobody that has a bottle at home right now, there we go. Nobody that has a bottle at home right now has the same exact artwork as I have right there. Every single one of you have different artwork. I don't know that anyone in tequila or any alcohol is doing anything like that. Super cool. That was one of the delays. One of the reasons we got delayed in launching it when we had originally intended, was because we wanted to get this just right and all that good stuff. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I did this, where the name Copal came from, which I still don't think I've told anyone really, at least in a public forum. I don't think I've mentioned it. A lot of you have asked. Talk a little bit about going down to Mexico a couple times and the process of making tequila and why I did this and all that good stuff. So yes, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. As a matter of fact, it's 5 o'clock here right now. So cheers, guys, if you've got something with you. And I know you don't all have Copal with you, so whatever you got is all good. I'm going to drink a little bit with you. And we did I don't know when we're going to put it up. There's a little something for you right there. And you just start with a little something like that. Like, that's a shot worth. It looks just beautiful in the glass. I like one rock. I like one big rock. You can get a cool circular rock like this. You can get an ice thing, like a circular ice tray, for a couple bucks, super easy. And you can get a beautiful piece of ice and one rock. You can drink it just totally straight up, by the way. You don't need ice. I happen to like a little bit of ice. And as we put in that little commercial there, just like the tiniest swirl. I mean, I'm telling you, we have made a delicious tequila. I'm so proud of this product that if you like tequila, you are going to love Copal. And if you don't know if you like tequila, I think you're going to fall in love with tequila. It's a beautiful, simple, exquisite tequila. It's made the right way and all of that good stuff. So, all right, I'm going to throw up. We're going to have some pictures. Yeah, a lot of people are saying straight up. I see it. Lynn in VA, you like it straight up. All sorts of good things happening here. All right, it's I'm gonna have a little learning curve. I gotta look at this, and I gotta look at that, and I gotta look at that, and I gotta listen to you guys in my ear. That's a lot of stuff to do while drinking tequila. So I thought what I would first tell you guys is just why I did this in the first place. And the reason that I came up with this was, I drank wine for most of my adult life. I'm not a huge drinker, actually, when it comes to, like, I'm not like drunk all the time or anything like that, but I do enjoy a glass of wine. Oh, Clyde's in here too, by the way. Maybe we'll get, do dogs like tequila? Can someone Google that? What's the situation with dogs and tequila? Maybe we'll get Clyde little something. But I do enjoy a glass of wine, obviously. I like going out. I enjoy being social with people, blah, blah, blah. And there's this so interesting thing going on right now where there's such a huge health movement happening online. And I'm all about it, right? I've been talking to you guys. I'm at my lowest weight right now in about 10 years. I've been on, people keep telling me about the glow up, and I've been working out and eating right and all of those things. And I think you can absolutely, it's up to you. Everyone should do what they think is right within their mind and body and spirit and all of those things. But I think you can have as long as you're not abusing alcohol like anything else, I think it's no problem to have a drink, have 2 drinks, even have 3 drinks and enjoy your life. That's my position on that. But anyway, I had been drinking wine for most of my adult life. And about 5 years ago, we were living in LA. It was during COVID. I was having one of my illegal Dave Rubin parties at the time because we weren't allowed, you literally were not supposed to have people at your house unless it was in the backyard. Completely psychotic. And I had a couple friends that all brought bottles of tequila over. It was actually the guy who built my house, who I became friends with, and a few of his friends, and they all brought bottles of tequila, and a few of them brought the Clase Azul bottle. Everyone, do we have the Clase Azul bottle in here anywhere? I think we probably have one somewhere. And everyone knows the Clase Azul bottle. It's become kind of the ubiquitous tequila bottle, and I think they're busting out one for me right now. This decanter that they sell it in is obviously quite beautiful. It's handmade and all that good stuff, and now I feel like I'm doing a commercial for Clase Azul. But it's about $180. It's Reposado, which is the exact same thing we're making with Copal. And it's aged 3 months, and as you can see, it's a beautiful bottle. You got the bell with the little ding sound, and there's something nice about just like having this around, and people keep them, they make lamps out of them, and all these things. Anyway, some friends brought over the Clase Azul bottle, and a few other bottles, and I started sipping tequila. And wine, when you're drinking wine, the thing about wine is that if you're at a dinner, you're out and about, wherever you are, like wine, one way or another, you end up drinking half a bottle or a bottle of wine throughout the night. Like it's rare that you just have one glass of wine. There's something to it. Now tequila, that's my second sip, and it's like, all right, that's gonna sit there for a little while. It's not something you're just like drinking. You might have several cocktails throughout the evening or whatever else, but like there's something about the sipping process actually that I like. So anyway, started having some tequila. I like the lightness to it. I like that there's a little bit of a feeling with tequila of a little bit more of a feeling of an upper, where wine is a little bit more of a depressant. Like you can think of like winos, people getting drunk on wine and they're tired and they're rambling and they're blah, 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 blah. Where tequila is like a little more of an upper. It's not, there's a stereotypical version of what people do with tequila. I think a lot of people still think of tequila as doing shots of Jose Cuervo at a frat party and jumping in the pool. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not what really good sipping tequila is about. It's a really, as I said, exquisite. That's the word I'm using. It's just an exquisite drink that's complex and rich, and as I said, light and just pleasant if you just sip it. I see a lot of people are enjoying that. Oh, a lot of people, this is the biggest ice cube they've ever seen. So I don't know exactly how my housekeeper makes the ice cubes. I don't know how she makes it, but I know that there's a thing that allows you to make a beautiful circular ice cube like this. But anyway, that turned me on to tequila. And for years I was drinking Clase Azul, and I'm not gonna throw Clase Azul under the bus because it is the thing that got me into tequila. Now, having made tequila, been to distilleries, really learned about the process around it and how things have additives and all of those other things, it's not a great tequila. It's not. But I will not talk crap about it because it's the intro thing. I've introed a lot of people to it that gets them into tequila, and that I like. Anyway, you guys know I do the off the grid August thing, and over the last couple of years, when we've been going, we bounce around. We've done a whole bunch of cool different things, and it's a little more complex with the kids now. But over the years, before kids, we were going away to Mexico for a while, and at one of the resorts we stayed at, there was this incredible, it was very, kind of high-end, cool resort, and they had a lot of great tequilas and beach and all that good stuff. But everywhere, particularly the spa, but everywhere we went, the restaurants, the common areas, even the rooms themselves, there was this wonderful scent, like magical scent that was permeating through everything, wherever you were at this resort. And we kept asking people what it was, and everyone, it's Copal, it's Copal. And Copal is, in Mexico, it's more of an incense, actually. It's an aroma made from tree sap. Anyway, the scent was so warm and infectious to me, in the good sense of infectious, and pleasant, and we just loved it so much, and I love my off-the-grid experience of doing what I do with you guys for 11 months out of the year and grinding with the news and doing the thing, and it's hardcore and it's intense at times, and we try to make it fun and all those things, but that I disappear for this month that I'm about to do in 2 weeks, and that I incorporate all these other parts of my life about getting off the grid and catching up on some reading and just sitting at the beach and thinking and spa time and just all this other stuff, and that there was this scent suddenly that really captured that feeling to us. So when we started thinking about doing the tequila about 3 years ago, I really wasn't sure what the name was going to be. I kicked around, there's a lot of like kitschy names like Casamigos that has now become the tequila that everyone drinks, but nobody knows why they drink it other than it's there. It's not a great tequila either. It's not really made the best way or anything else. God bless George Clooney, sold it for $500 million. It's good to be George Clooney, who was on Facts of Life for 2 seasons. People don't remember that, but he was. But Casamigos, I grant him, like Casa Amigos. You combine those two things, house friend, into one word. Brilliant name. It really was a brilliant name. Clase Azul sounds nice. What's his name? Matthew McConaughey has a tequila now. Pantalones, like it just sounds like a Mexican word. So we were trying to think of all of these other things, and then we're just sitting there. We're literally in Mexico 2 years ago, off the grid, and we had already started the process of making the tequila and figuring out what we were doing with the barrels and how, if we were going to do a reposado, which is aged 3 months. Añejos are aged 12 to 15 months. You could do extra añejos even longer. I happen to like reposado because it's right between, Blanco is not aged. So I'm doing a little tequila 101 for you guys, but Blanco is basically what you put in a margarita or a mixed drink. It's the clear tequila. It's tequila in its purest form in a sense, right? It's just, if it's made right, it's just pure agave and they haven't done anything to it. It's not aged. And that's what you use usually for drinks. Reposado is aged 3 months. And then añejo, as I said, is 12 to 15 months usually. And then there's extra añejos, super añejos. There's also cristalino and some other things. But anyway, we were sitting there and we're sipping on our tequila and we're trying to figure out what the name of the tequila is. And then we were both like, David and I, almost at the exact same time. I know exactly, we were sitting at this treetop bar and we were both like, Copal? 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 We had said Copal 20 times during the day about how great this scent is and all of these things. Anyway, then it became very complex, obviously, to get the trademark for it and all sorts of other things. That was some of the delays were included in that. But it really that's where the name came from. It was originally a scent, but I would say it's more about a feeling. And that's the feeling that I'm trying to convey through the drink. And the drink itself, which as I said, it's balanced right. There is no burn. I am telling you, there is no burn to this tequila. People usually drink tequila and there is a burn, right? Everyone knows what that thing is. And there are ways to make better tequila. And if you make it right, you will not have that burn. Let's see, people have got theirs in their fridge already. You know what we'll do? Here's what we'll do, just so I don't have to keep looking at this. You can just throw me some things over there so that I can kind of just keep looking this way as opposed to just glancing off. I know people want my attention over there. Some people are asking about the flavors and the notes, so I will get into that in a little bit, and I'll get into a little bit more about making it and everything else. But I will tell you one funny story about making the tequila. So it's got to be 2.5 years ago now, Connor and my brother-in-law, Brendan, who's my partner in the business, we went down there. We flew into Guadalajara, and there are 4 regions in Mexico where they make tequila. And one of the interesting things that people don't know about tequila is if you want to make tequila, you actually have to make it in one of these 4 regions. You can grow agave anywhere, right? You can grow agave in Florida. You can grow agave in Texas would be better, the drier the soil. Florida's not going to be ideal for a cactus, obviously. But if you want to actually call it tequila, it's much like champagne. You can make Prosecco, you can make bubbly wine in essence anywhere, but if you want to call it champagne, it has to be from the Champagne region of France. I did not know that about tequila. So there are some things that you can make in America that you could call like agave wine or something that in essence are tequila. But if you want to make authentic tequila, you have to go down to these 4 regions, and Jalisco is the main region. And actually, we didn't even realize it at the time, but the resort that we were staying at where we came up with the name of Copal wasn't even that far. Like it's not even a far car ride from the distillery that we ended up finding, that we ended up using to make this beautiful tequila. Anyway, so we fly down to Guadalajara, we drive to Jalisco, we go to the town of Tequila. Did you know there is a town of tequila and they drink a lot of tequila there? Yeah, we spent some time there and it's a lot of tequila. And then, we go through the process of going to distilleries and figuring out what tequila. I was pretty sure I wanted to make a reposado because that's what I like. Añejo because it's aged longer. Usually, to me, it tastes a little bit more like whiskey. It's a little more rich or something. Like if I'm drinking something, I just like something kind of light and refreshing. That's why you really don't need anything with this. People have been asking me for cocktail recipes, and I'll share a couple ideas with you guys. But generally, just on the rocks or just neat, just no ice whatsoever, if that's your preference. It's just damn good. Like, I'm so proud of this thing. We actually did a taste, I'll get back to the Guadalajara story in a minute, but we did a taste test that we're gonna air at some point, I think in August, where my guys set up 8 tequilas, completely blind taste test for me. And not only did I figure out which Copal was without even like, I think it was the 6th out of 8, am I right? It was, yeah, I think it was the 6th out of 8, and I just knew that's what it was because it was by far the best. I was able to figure out a lot of the others just from, once you know, it's, everyone's always like, oh, do these sommeliers know what they're doing when it comes to wine? And it's like, if you actually know a little bit about how a tequila should be made and you can figure out, you can ascertain a little bit by the color and other things, you really can figure things out in a cool way. Anyway, so we go down to tequila and we're going and we're tasting, and they basically the way a lot of the distilleries work, it's super interesting. If you go to the average distillery, it basically, most of them are on an agave farm, right? Or the better ones are on an agave farm, so it's their agave. They're not buying the agave from somewhere else. Or sometimes the giant tequilas, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, they're gonna buy agave from all sorts of different places, throw all the agave together. It could be wildly inconsistent. But if you go to a distillery that's on their own farm, then you have a way of actually looking at the farm, meeting the farmers, which we did, and walking through the fields and seeing how they tend to the plants and how they're rotating the crops of agave and all of these things. And you can really get a sense of how they, build out their entire process, right? So anyway, we go down there, and in the morning, it was me and Connor over here and Brendan. And I was like, guys, we're gonna be tasting lots of tequila for a while now. Like, we gotta eat. We gotta seriously have big breakfasts. And we had huevos divorciados, and we had other types of huevos, and we had, how do you say bread in Spanish? I can't remember. Naan? No, that's Indian. Pan, okay. Clyde got up for that. He thought we had some bread here. Anyway, we had big ass breakfasts. We go, and then you basically are tasting tequila all day. But the difference, I'm sure many of you watching this have been to Sonoma, or you've been to Napa, or you've been to France or Italy where you do wine tastings. And those, usually if you're doing wine tastings, yes, if you want to get drunk, you can, they pour you a little bit for the tasting, not a full glass. And, you can drink the whole thing, but also you can spit it out because you're really just trying to get the taste in your mouth. The difference with tequila is you really can't do that because you need to swallow it so you can kind of feel, is that burn there? How does your throat feel after? So you really have to drink tequila. And we had big meals. Like, I know how to drink tequila and not be like wasted and all that kind of stuff, but we're drinking throughout the day. My brother-in-law, Brendan, really doesn't drink. So we started at 9, by 9:06, he was basically under the table, utterly useless, God bless him. Connor, you were pretty much okay till about 9:08. And you were filming. So if any of the videos you see of us at the distillery, if they're a little like this, you know how many Connor had. So later in the day, they were kind of getting more like this. But we just had a great time, and meeting the guys that tend to the fields and the young man. Oh, this guy, I can't remember his name. He was just great, and get to see. I mean, you can really see like the tools that they use, and just the entire process of grinding up the agave and all of this stuff. It's really, really just wonderful. All right, so I see a lot of people are jumping in here. Should we throw to, or what are here? Where do you want to start there? Anyway, the store, all right, so here, okay, I see some deliveries come in right now. Mitchell, what's the open container laws in Florida? Oh, you must have just picked that up. I would get that. I wouldn't bust it open in the car. We're pretty good about that kind of stuff here in Florida. I would not drive with the tequila. I guess I could contact DeSantis and see if I could get a waiver if you're drinking Copal while in the car, let's say on Alligator Alley, if that would be okay. I could ask about that, but I would probably best to get home on that. Let's see. Mad for Car says, wife said when the Copal arrives, she wants me standing greeting her with a shot of tequila. That's what I'm talking about. And again, even though people think of tequila as shots, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna have a shot. Or you think of Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, tequila! Yes, that's fine. And we had the Big Dave Rubin 49th birthday party here, and we had a wall full of shot glasses, like 50 shot glasses, and everyone did shots together of Copal. And yes, shots are great. That's great. It'll get the night going, I promise you that. But you know, like anything else, like the good things you want to savor, right? So like if you're just doing a shot of something, I see no need to do a shot of tequila, of Copal, but I see why someone might want to. Dina says, mine is on its way, but still wanted to join you all for a drink while I work. Well, we're ruining the productivity of America here. Again, apologies for a little bit of the slow delivery stuff. After this week, we'll be fully lined up, and once we're restocked, which looks like about 2.5, 3 weeks, we won't have any more delays. You'll be able to order, and if you're on the East Coast of America, you'll probably have it in like 3 days. And if you're on the West Coast, probably a few days after that. And also the thing is that the bigger the company gets, obviously we'll be able to do, you know, faster shipping. Right now we just simply had to charge. I didn't want to charge for shipping. We simply had to because of the economics of it, until we figured out, oh, how big is this business going to be? So we're still working through a lot of that stuff. And I'm also trying to figure out who I want to partner with to do this. You know, now we did really well. Like I had no idea. Can I, through my online audience, can I just say, hey, I made something that's really cool, that I love, that's great. Like, will you guys join me on this journey on something, alcohol, that people usually don't buy online, right? Like people usually buy alcohol online when you're sending a gift, you're sending a wedding gift or an anniversary gift or a birthday gift to somebody across the country. But usually if you're going to buy alcohol for yourself, you go to your local store, your Total Wine or Bevmo or whatever it is. But you guys really came through for us. And now we're really trying to figure out how do we burst into this scene properly? How do we get into the right restaurants? I'm talking to a bunch of people about that. I don't know that I want to be everywhere. Like I actually kind of want to be in a little bit of more exclusive places. And I don't mean exclusive like expensive. I mean, I'd rather be in like a few places here and there so that when you see this bottle on the shelf, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, I know that bottle. I know Copal. I know Dave. Like, that's cool. It's a little bit different. So, so we're figuring out all sorts of things. But if any of you are in the biz or you're trying to figure out some stuff, what email should we send them to for if they want to talk to us about Copal, the business? Hello at drinkcopal.com. You can send us an email and let's talk business. WLL Calgary says, I'm in Calgary and my tequila's in Houston, but I will join you as I look out towards McMahon Stadium. I appreciate that. Yes, we're only shipping within the United States right now, and unfortunately, just because of some laws, we're not shipping to, I believe it's Utah, Washington State, and Alaska. Every other state can get the tequila, so I appreciate that. You live in Calgary, you shipped your tequila to Houston, and you're gonna somehow get it back from Houston to Calgary. I sense a movie, like a comedy movie, maybe with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. There's something there that I think you could make happen. That would be great. 24, what do we got here? Oh, look at this. Look at this. EK and Izzy, I was hoping the tiny bottle would arrive to Rubin Report today, but it won't arrive till tomorrow. Oh, that's amazing. So EK and Izzy, you guys are the best. And Elizabeth there, she makes these. Can you put that back up? I forget what they're called. Not crochets. They call them something else. There's a word for it. These beautiful crocheted things. So she's made me, Little Dave Rubin, and the kids have a lot of fun with Little Dave Rubin. And now Little Dave Rubin has a tequila bottle, which I assume will arrive tomorrow. If it does, or if it's the next day, we'll bust him out on set. That is, I mean, that first off, you're very skilled, and that is super cool. And thank you very much. So, all right, let me jump in here. Mad for Car says, has Dave made a margarita with the Copal? I have. So let's talk about some ways to drink tequila. So obviously, to me, as I've said multiple times, to me, just a little bit on ice, and you don't need a cube that's so giant like this. It kind of looks cool. I like it. And generally, I like drinking cold things in general. Like, I like cold things. Some people like room temp water. I like cold things. So that's how I like it. But let me give you a couple simple ways. I'm going to give you the most simple one first. That actually is my favorite. Joey, can you approach the desk? Thank you, Joey. What Joey has done here is bring me a plate. And on this plate is 1 cube of watermelon. That is incredible slicing, by the way. What I'm going to do is take this 1 piece of watermelon and I'm going to drop it into the glass. I'm going to push it a little with my finger because I drank a bunch out of there, and we're going to soak that baby. Look at that. We're going to soak that watermelon with some tequila. And I'm telling you, you really don't need anything. Where am I looking? Right there? You don't need anything to enjoy a Copal. But when you do, you might want a cube of watermelon. How was that? That was pretty good, huh? It adds the slightest hint of flavor. I've really been on a watermelon kick in general. It's hot as hell here in Florida in the summer, and watermelon, obviously, you're going to stay super hydrated, and there's a lot of other health benefits, and low cal and low sugar and all that kind of stuff. But that's like the most simple way. But you asked me about a margarita, and let's just see if we get a little watermelon flavor? Yeah, we did, and not only that, but you put a little watermelon in there, you're going to get that scent. That fresh scent of watermelon, which is just like a beautiful, refreshing scent. So if you're gonna do anything, and you can do that with I'll just give you a couple fruit that we've been doing this with. Watermelon's been great. We're in mango season here right now, which if you can get a good mango, and I'm telling you, you don't even have to squeeze it. Like a watermelon, you're gonna get a nice amount of juice. I stuck my finger in there. You don't have to. Watermelon's great, mango's great. I've been really big on passion fruit right now. Passion fruit, I'm telling you, big one. Orange is kind of obvious, and then, anything kind of citrusy, so a lime or even a lemon could kind of work, but simple. But if you want a margarita, the simplest, I'm telling you, the simplest, best margarita recipe, the old way of doing a margarita, people used to say is a third. So you're gonna do a third tequila, a third lime juice, and then usually a third orange juice, something like that. You could add Cointreau or whatever for a little extra flavor. I'm just not big on all that sugar these days. So the simplest thing, if you want something that tastes like a margarita, I am telling you, you put a little Copal in a glass, you put the ice in first. Little ice, little Copal, just crush a watermelon and then squeeze a quarter of a lime. And in essence, you've got a margarita right there. And I promise you, you will be happy. That is what we served at the Big Dave Rubin birthday bonanza. And you will have a watermelon. I'll give you a couple other ideas. We've been doing tequila mojitos and a few other things. I should mention, because I see a few people asking. So yes, even though we are not in stock right now, if you want to get on the wait list, you can just go to drinkcopal.com, and I think on the front page it'll pop up immediately. You can just add your email address right there, and we'll get you on the first list to get this out after. Quickly, I'll give you one other cocktail, and then we can move on to some other things. Tequila mojito. Now I know, here I am in Little Cuba in Miami with my Cuban friends and their Cuban sandwiches and their Cuban Spanish and their Cuban cigars, and they like their mojitos. I'll go down to Calle Ocho and have a mojito with those fine people. I like it without sugar myself. I don't know that anyone has ever done the tequila mojito before. I don't think Google tequila mojito. Is that even a thing? Has anyone ever mixed tequila with lime and mint before? It's not even on the internet, okay? We just invented it. And a very simple thing to do. Very simple, guys. It's so simple, it's beautiful. Take some ice, take some Copal. First, actually, you should muddle the mint. Muddle the mint and the lime first. Let's reverse this. Get some mint, fresh mint. You can get it anywhere, a couple bucks. Okay, put some mint on the bottom of the glass. Squeeze some lime in there. Throw the lime rind in there. Muddle it. Get yourself a muddler. You can get a muddler. Find a picture of a muddler and put a muddler up there. I like a nice wood. You could get like a mortar and pestle kind of thing. And you could do one of these, or just a simple muddler for the glass is just fine. Get that lime juice and that mint. You really want the mint flavor to open up, so you got to kind of crush it up a little bit, right? Then put your ice in there, then put your Copal in there, and then just put club soda. That's it. You don't need sugar. You don't need anything else. In essence, what you are drinking, so what are you drinking at that point? You're drinking some tequila, so you're going to get some calories there. That is true. You're drinking club soda with 0 calories. You're drinking some essence of mint, basically, and lime juice. Like, that is as healthy a drink, if that is part of something you care about in the process of drinking. Like, it's as light and simple and hydrating as possible. There you go. That is how you muddle right there. We're teaching lessons here. Little mint, little lime. Leave the rind in there. Some people take it out, but I find it like kind of looks good in the glass, and it's gonna like soak a little bit and get you a little something special. Some pictures. We've got some pictures. People are receiving their Copal with the Dave Rubin signed sticker, although my screen looks like it's slightly cut off. I did sign that sticker. Can it be seen there, or is it just the one that I'm signing? that I'm seeing. I signed all of the stickers so that my signature should be on the bottom of that. Oh, there we go. It's there. It's there. What does it say there? Excited to try my freshly delivered Copal 22 Tequila by Rubin for a beautiful high-end bottle. We initially missed the delivery guy, so oh yes, I saw this one. So my husband tracked him down in the neighborhood on a golf cart to make sure we got it today to try. I love that passion, Lauren, much appreciated. Can you imagine the guy driving down the golf cart? I want my tequila. Get me my tequila. That's a committed person right there. Let's see. CL says the new Copal 22 by Rubin Report is smooth. Going to enjoy one. Bonus. Mine came with a signed sticker. And yeah, again, all of the bottles are unique, which was really, it was a little, when we decided to do it, we knew it was going to be a little complex. Oh, there's a good example of it right there. So we printed them in such a way that we printed thousands of these things at once. And they are all different. And actually, one of the delays, I guess I could mention this, one of the delays was because when we initially did it, there was an error at the print shop, and they put 5,000 labels that were the same on 5,000 bottles. And I was like, guys, I promised my audience unique pieces of artwork, so like we can't sell these. So basically we have 5,000 extra bottles sitting in Miami, and I can either have a lifetime supply of tequila, we could have a real good time at the next Dave Rubin party, or I'm not sure what we're gonna do with them. We might sell them to some bars at a super discounted rate so that they're just back stock or whatever it might be. Maybe we'll sell them. I didn't want to sell them commercially to you guys at a cheaper rate. Like, it just seems like you guys should have like the real thing, but I guess I'm kind of open to that. And so some people are asking why I decided to make the labels different. Well, I was really trying to figure out, one of the things that you learn when you're doing any new project, you learn how the assembly line works. How does the whole logistical line work? How does the product line work, and all of those things? So, look, when you buy something like this, the Clase Azul, which again, I'm really not throwing it under the bus. I've enjoyed a lot of this. I'm never gonna drink it again, but I enjoyed a lot of it over the years. In essence, it's $180, and we have a much better liquid in here. But you're paying for the bottle. You're paying for like an idea. I mean, this is what marketing's all about, right? You're paying for an idea, and you're paying for something that looks cool and makes you feel a certain way when it shows up to your table, and that's all good. That really is all good. What I want to do is, I was really trying to figure out a way we could get this tequila out. I wanted to make the best tequila we could make at a reasonable price and get it out somewhat quickly. Now, it did take a long time, granted, for sure. But one of the things is that, you basically, if you're bringing out a new, whether it's a tequila or it's a rum or it's vodka or whatever it might be, they have X amount of, what do they call them? Not bespoke, the other version. It's like the generic, I guess you could call it generic bottles. So there's just like a catalog of like, I don't know, 100 bottles that sort of everybody uses that are not your own unique bespoke bottle. And it's cheaper to use those, and it's a lot easier because they're in stock somewhere, meaning that this bottle, Copal, is not the only tequila, obviously, that uses a bottle of this shape. I happen to like this shape, and there's something that makes it, like, to me, this looks like a tequila bottle. Like if we're in Mexico in 1940 and we walked into a bar and I was like, "Tu, dos, tequila." I feel like it would come in a bottle like this, but it would just be unlabeled and everything else. So I like this bottle, but then I was like, all right, so if we're not doing a bespoke bottle, meaning paying a lot more to design our own unique glass bottle, I was like, what could we do that would make it unique? And originally I thought, okay, at the very least, I could sign every single bottle. And then that turned out to be a complete logistical nightmare, which is why we did the stickers instead. The idea that I was going to go to the warehouse, having to open up all the cases, sign each one, or I was going to spend a lot of time in Mexico every few months going back and sign, like, that didn't really make sense, and probably not the best use of time and everything else. And then it was Zach. It was Zach, our graphic designer, who helped us out with this and has done some things for the Rubin Report as well, who was like, I have a really cool idea. I don't know if it could be done, but we should try this. And basically, he figured out a way that they could mass print all of these thousands and thousands of labels, but in essence, the artwork is one piece of artwork. So you're just getting a portion of what is a giant mosaic. It's a really, really cool thing if you think about it. So that's really why we did that. I knew we weren't doing a bespoke bottle, at least yet. We might. Like, if we really scale this thing and it blows up, and my sense is that it will, maybe ultimately we will, and these will be the originals. And if any of you have this right now or over the next couple months, You'll have the original. It'll be not only original artwork, but you'll have the original. You'll have the original bottles as well. If we go that route, and I'm not totally sure, because what I wanted to do, as I said, was make a really good product, and focus less. You know, I think a reason that a lot of these guys have to do this kind of crazy stuff. And again, I'm not trying to fight with the Mexican cartels who make a lot of these things. I'm not saying that is made by the Mexican cartels, but you get my point. I'm not trying to fight with anyone or talk shit about any other tequila or anything. But I just was like, I just want to make good tequila. And then I believe that if you build it, they will come. Like, I just came up with that phrase, and it was quite brilliant, if I do say so myself. If any celebrity could be a Copal ambassador, who would it be? Well, I guess it has to be someone besides me. That makes sense. Who's cool that likes Copal? No, who's cool that likes tequila? That I'm trying to think. Who would I get excited? That's a good question. Who would I get excited by if I saw a picture and they were drinking Copal, or they were just having a drink and there was a bottle of Copal at their table? Ooh. I mean, there's obvious answers. My favorite basketball player, Clyde Drexler, that would be cool. I don't know if he drinks. I don't know if Clyde drinks. Who?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Joseph would like Chris Pratt to drink Copal. Okay, that's something. I saw Jurassic Park. Connor, who would you like to drink Copal? One of your little furry foot people, your little hobbit people?
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood. If Elijah Wood would drink Copal, that would be nice. I don't know. I want you guys to be the ambassador. Actually, we've been thinking about this. We had a team dinner the other night, and we were talking about like how we could market and what we could do with maybe AI for commercials and all of these things. And I was just kind of thinking, like, if I make a good tequila, we have a great way to get it out to you through the show and my social media and all that stuff. Like, it would be pretty cool if just you guys were the ambassadors. If you guys just post the pictures and we can repost things, and you post the videos and you share your recipes and all of those things. I think that would be great. Somebody just said, Bodog just says, Dave, just tried your suggestion with watermelon. Awesome. It's so simple, I'm telling you. Yeah, my glass smells like watermelon right now. That's pretty damn. How come you guys don't have any tequila? Look at you all sitting there with water like suckers. You guys can have some, it's okay. Let's see. Dave just tried your suggestion with. Oh, that was the one I just saw. Great. Would tequila shots count as cardio if you're running from your ex afterward? So if you have a shot of tequila, and then you, in the heat of the moment, because you're so overjoyed with wondrous emotion from Copal, you say something to your ex, and then you have to run from them. Would that count as cardio? We'll count it. We'll count it. Everyone nodded. We will count it as cardio. Yes, we would. Don't recommend doing cardio drunk. Let's keep it clean, people. A little water in the morning. I'm very glad to hear that about the watermelon. The other Mitch says, been a good week. Made it out of Long Island alive. I'd like to know what that means. Much sought after Yamaha LL16D arrived. That is super cool. Look at that thing. Copal arrived. Good start. Wow. Can you play a little something and post a video in the chat? Maybe we can put it up there for you. That would be pretty cool. Let's see. Someone said they're hanging up blinds, so they're not really paying attention anymore. Well, that's what happens. People start drinking tequila, and then the mind starts expanding, and you start thinking you can do all sorts of other things. Yeah, maybe Mitch could write a song for Copal. Let's see. Joanne says, got mine in my home workroom. Excellent. Can you pull up the picture that somebody sent us before of their shelf with their other tequilas, and they had already created a spot for Copal? I want to see what else they have up there, because it is an interesting thing now that I know a bit about tequila. Let me just see what other people have up there, because I can really tell you now, like there are some ways to make tequila that a lot of the big boys are doing, where they're cutting it with all sorts of additives. They're putting all sorts of sugar in there. They're not using as much agave per barrel, so they figure out ways to kind of cheap you out. We did none of those things. There are hints. Yeah, I mean, it just smells great. It's so fresh versus, if you open up a bottle of just standard tequila, oh, like there's just like this bite. It's not even just the thing that you feel in your throat. There's a bite to it. We just simply don't have that. Let's see. The dream of a keen mind, the realization of a dream refined. Each sip meant to be savored. Copal tequila, a heaven of flavor. Whoa. Talway, killing it. Was that Chat GPT? You never know what's a human anymore. Let's see. Dave, I have a great idea. How about a non-alcohol tequila with 30 mgs of THC in it? That would be awesome. That's a different business altogether. Let me get this thing going and we will see. I know a lot of people are on the THC and they're drinking it now and they got it sublingually and regular lingually and all kinds of other things. It's not a terrible idea. It's actually not a terrible idea. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. Running from, where am I here? You're going too fast for me. If your tequila could be a superhero, who would it be and who would it fight? That's interesting. Okay. What superhero is that? Are there any Mexican superheroes? Who do they have down there? I feel like they have a lot of masked fat people down in Mexico. You know what I mean? Is there a Mexican superhero?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle was Mexican? I don't care for that guy. No.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. He's the new Spider-Man. I don't count that. Peter Parker or bust. Yeah. Oh, he's Puerto Rican. Wow, Joseph.
Right.
Wow, my racist Joseph over here. You confusing the Mexicans with the Puerto Ricans. We're tequila people now. You have to know the difference. That's a whole thing. No, all right. What's a superhero who I just like, who I just think is cool and fun and have? You know what? No. Batman's not a tequila drinker. Batman is what I'm trying to teach. Batman as Bruce Wayne goes into those parties and he's able to hobnob with the elites and they're always drinking bourbon and whiskey. That's Bruce Wayne. You know who I'm going to go with? You know who I think would really enjoy tequila? I feel like maybe he does even in the movies. Deadpool. Couldn't you see Deadpool going to a bar? Give me some, didn't they have a bar? Didn't he meet a lot of those guys at the bar? And Deadpool, you know what shirt he wore? Pull up the picture of Deadpool. He used to have B. Arthur on his shirt. He was a big fan of, Ryan Reynolds, the actor, was a big fan of the Golden Girls and loved B. Arthur. You guys know how I feel about the Golden Girls, and I loved Dorothy was my favorite character, B. Arthur. And Deadpool wore a shirt that had a B. Arthur picture on it, cartoon of B. Arthur. And if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Reynolds personally paid $10,000 to the estate of B. Arthur to get the rights to her image to wear it as Deadpool in the movie. And that is our tequila live stream. Thank you for watching. What team would you like to be sponsored by our tequila? You know, well, we're down here in Miami, and look, I'm not a huge soccer guy. I'm not. It's not my thing. I'm a basketball guy. Yes, we could get it to the Miami Heat probably. That would be nice. And of course, we'll try to do it. And that actually would be unbelievably cool and all that good stuff. But what do they got with the soccer team? They got the Inter Miami. And actually, Jorge Mas, the owner of the team, I have gotten to know a little bit, and his son, Jorge Mas Jr., great guys who happen to love tequila. And Jorge Mas Jr., if you're watching, I told you I was going to bring some tequila this weekend. I got a little sidetracked, but I will get you a bottle. I'm going to get you a bottle tomorrow, I promise. I like all these. It's a bizarre set of historical questions and very specific. What world leader, living or dead, represents Copal? What? Can't you ask me more about the process of making tequila or more about the recipes or the, what do we have here? Connor's got something. Okay, so this is the one I wanted to see. Someone put up their shelf there with some, I see a Mezcal. So I don't know that Mezcal specifically, but Mezcal, I'll tell you something interesting about Mezcal in just a second. What's the second one there? I see on my left is a Mezcal. What's the second one there? I can't quite see. Is that a Mezcal as well?
I'm not sure.
Not sure what that is. And the next one looks like a tequila, and by the color of that, I'm guessing that's an anejo. Does that say?
The third one?
Yeah.
That's a reposado.
That's a reposado. Then there's the spot for Copal, much appreciated. And then the other two. An anejo, and I see a Joven over there. So, you know, Mezcal, let me tell you something about Mezcal. So Mezcal is actually kind of like the hot thing right now. Mezcal is basically, in essence, it's a smoky tequila. So it's made from agave plant, just like tequila is. And you should watch them. There's some really, and I've watched probably every single one of them multiple times as we were figuring this out. At one point, my entire, you know, if you search one thing on YouTube, it just like changes your search thing forever. So there was a period of like 6 months where every single thing that they were recommending me was just tequila or mezcal related. But it's very cool actually watching how they make tequila in and of itself. And then, and it's super cool if you watch how they make mezcal. So mezcal is basically tequila, meaning it's made from the agave plant, and then they bury it, and they have to, in essence, burn it over a period of days, and it's an unbelievably cool process to watch. They're basically smoking it, and that's what you're getting. That's the smoky flavor of mezcal. Some people, I find usually with mezcal, people either absolutely love it or hate it. I happen to like it a lot. And we almost did make a mezcal, and everyone was kind of pushing me like, make a mezcal, that's the hot thing right now, that's the hot thing. But I just love tequila, and I thought this would be like a good entry. But people are already asking, what's the next thing we're gonna make? Are we gonna make an añejo next? And I'm pretty sure we're gonna make a mezcal next. I think that'll be the next thing. Mezcal, it's smoky, and you can just, because it's just like an interesting flavor, just like try to picture the flavor of smoke when you have like a good smoked, you know, you get good smoked barbecue sauce, or you have a good smoked brisket or whatever it might be, like that, like really rich, deep flavor, and getting that out of a drink is super interesting, because then when you mix that with some citrus or something light, there's something really nice that you can make out of that. So I think if we decide to go with a second vertical within the Copal family, or familia, as they say, I think it will probably be a mezcal. Can I explain the barrel charring process? So one of the things that we did, so when you're making tequila, or when you're making anything that's aged, so if you were making bourbon or whiskey or anything else, you're gonna get the original liquid, right? So that's what they call it, the liquids. You're gonna get the liquid that's from the agave after it's been crushed and it's been distilled and all of that stuff. And then you're gonna put it in barrels. So the barrels that we chose, it's 95% American whiskey barrels. One of the things that I wanted to do, and this was also, I should have said this at the top, one of the things that as I was getting into tequila, you know, I was constantly having all these parties during COVID at our house, and I'd have all my conservative friends over. The Michael Knowles of the world, the Andrew Clavens, like, you know, the cast of characters, some public, some not public, but I had a lot of my friends lean conservative these days, I guess, as strange as that may seem, or maybe not, and I would offer everybody, you know, whatever. We'd open up the bar, whatever you want, obviously. And all of my conservative friends would always drink whiskey and bourbon. They'd always drink whiskey and bourbon. And I could never tell if they liked it. It was just like, you got a whiskey? You got bourbon? Like, and they didn't care, you know, they'd always go for the fanciest bottle. You got the Johnny Walker Blue Label or whatever. They always want the fanciest thing, but they don't really care. If you had basically just given them anything brown in a glass, they would have drank it. So you give them rusty water, they'd be like, oh, this is the best bourbon I ever had. And I started noticing that, and I was like, I want to get these people off bourbon and whiskey. I don't think they really like it. I know some of them do. I know there's some great Kentucky bourbons. Okay, fine. Then I started introducing some of them to tequila, and every single person that I introduced to it really loved it. And then I would get messages later being like, Dave, that's all I drink now. I have so many messages like that. Dave, tequila's all I drink. I'm drinking less because you don't drink as much. I love the flavor. You know, if you make it the right way, and there aren't, if you eliminate all of the bad ways that you can make a tequila, like, you probably will not be hungover after. I can't guarantee that. I'm not putting an asterisk over there, no hangovers, but like, we had my birthday party 2 weeks ago. It ended at 4 a.m., 5-on-5 basketball in the pool at 4 a.m. I was up at 8 a.m. I was completely fine. Like, true story. So anyway, so I converted a lot of these conservatives into more tequila drinkers, and I'm very proud of that. So that was part of what I was thinking with some of the branding here, is like, conservatives, okay, I get it, you're conservative. All right, I get it. You like chicks, you're a conservative, you smoke cigars. Doesn't mean you can't have tequila. I will tell you this, there's only one person I've ever introduced tequila to that said to me after, I still would rather drink whiskey. You know who that was? Andrew Clavin. Andrew Clavin of the Daily Wire. He took one sip and he was like, do you have any bourbon? That's how they are. That's how those conservatives are. What are you going to say? Let's see. Here, I'll give a shout out to other things, because I'm not saying everyone has to like exactly the things that I like. Someone saying Irish whiskey, Castle Napog, I think I'm pronouncing that right, will change your life. That's interesting. Right. And again, I'm not saying that everyone has to have the exact same flavor palette that I have. And you might like different things at different times. You know, there's a reason that there's so many different alcohols. Like, rum is a little bit different than tequila. As I said, tequila is a little more of an upper. Rum is a little bit more of, you know, it's 3 o'clock, you're sitting on the beach having rum, basically passing out. Tequila is just a different thing. Deep end disadvantage with pool basketball. You're totally right about that. However, my pool basically does not have a deep end. The guy who built the house built it to really be a party pool. So the deepest end of the pool is maybe, what do you think? The deepest end of the pool, maybe 5.5? Barely, right? Like 5 feet. You're pretty much standing in that entire pool. So we had full on, and I have a really cool, like it looks like an NBA hoop basically in my, in the pool. And we had 5-on-5, 4 a.m. basketball, and it was very, very intense. Shout out to my buddy John, who just mopped up. The guy, you want to play basketball in the pool with someone who's just a monster rebounder. The guy is not stopped. Can you smoke a cigar with tequila? That's an interesting one. You know, I think legally you can. That's number one. I'm not a cigar guy. I think I've told you guys that before. For some reason, there's something about cigars, like, man, Clyde is starving right now. Because he eats at about 5 o'clock. He's ready. I don't like cigar smoke. I don't like what it does to my lungs. I don't like how I smell after. Everything you wear has to go to the laundry. I just don't like it. I know a lot of people love it. And by the way, I know a lot of the conservatives that are drinking whiskey love to have their cigars. I'm actually going to Nashville on Thursday. And I'm going to bring some Copal, and I'm going to play some yes/no crazy games with Michael Knowles over, I suppose, what will be tequila, and maybe he'll get me to drink or to smoke a cigar. But yeah, it's just not my thing. But I'd love to hear what your feelings of that are. Mad for Cars, it's really good. Added a bit of lime too. Yeah, lime or orange are just like the simple ones. Like I'm telling you, again, you barely have to. Can people hear what Clyde's doing right now? This dog is freaking starving. You want to, 2 more minutes? We'll just do a couple more minutes, okay. I'm telling you, just like a little, you don't even have to like get a drip in there. You do not have to squeeze it. If you just put it in and let it ruminate. Of course, the nice thing about watermelon is you can eat that after, and that soaks up the tequila, and it's delicious. You're not not eating a full lemon wedge. Yeah, that's like drinking watermelon right now, basically. Yeah, dogs know the time. Man, this dog at 4:45, if he does not have dinner, he goes freaking bananas. And I brought him into the studio, and what time is it right now? It's 5:55. He's really late right now. He is not happy with me. Let's see. Crafty Cat says, do you think you should try it first before adding lime or anything? Yeah, try the base first. Really do that. So I started telling you, when you make it, so we go to the distillery and they did something really cool. This was one of the fun parts of actually making the tequila. And by the way, our recipe and the way we make it, that is our proprietary knowledge. There is no tequila that is exactly the same as this at all. That is our recipe. But what happened was we go to the distillery and we sat down with the tequila makers and all of the people there, about 15 of us, in a barreled room. It was really cool. We might have some pictures of it that we can show you. And they have basically their bases, right? So they've got their Blanco, their Reposado. So Blanco, again, not aged. That's the white, clear tequila. They've got their Reposado. There you go. They've got their Reposado, and they've got their Añejo. And if I'm not mistaken, the bottle that they showed there, that I was like, yeah, I like that bottle. We'll have Connor repeat it in just a second. But these are our agave plants and everything else. Connor, can you repeat that? Yeah, so those are the bottles that they showed us, and they had different tops and things like that. So I liked the idea of the oak top, which is a color and a texture that we have a lot of in our house. And then basically they're like, all right, so this is the base of what we have, right? This is the base. We've done nothing to these other than this is straight up Blanco. This one's aged 3 months, and the Añejo's aged a year. Now we can fiddle with it. You can do essence of different flavors, things like that. You can add a little citrus. You can add a little vanilla. I actually don't want to fully give away everything we've done. However, I will tell you that there is the essence of vanilla in there. And the vanilla, you'll when you open up your bottle, you will pretty much get the vanilla. There's something sweet in there that you will get the vanilla. And then we did a little bit with citrus, which I may have, did I give it all away on here? Oh man, I can't see. This is what's happened to me. 49 years old, like I'm doing okay, but did I say it on here? I don't remember. No, I don't think so. We did a little bit with citrus, which I don't want to fully give away. Maybe I'll tell the locals people privately. But in essence, that's how the distilleries operate. They have their base flavors, and then, or their base profiles, you could call it. And then you, as the proprietor, you can then figure out how do you want to fiddle with it accordingly. And do you want to age it more? Do you want some made in whiskey barrels and some made in wine barrels, perhaps? And then you want to combine those two. Like, there's all sorts of cool things you can do. I mean, it really ends up becoming like a science project. All right, why don't we do one or two more? Where are my readers? I know, so I got glasses like a year ago. And you remember there was like a 3-month period where I was wearing them on the show. And then, I don't know, I felt like I kind of looked like a dork. Phoenix really didn't want me wearing them. And I don't need them for the prompter. It's really just the freaking up close. Yeah, it's worse when I do this. It's just the worst. And I thought you could get surgery for that. That's what some people told me, you could get surgery. But there really is no, do you know that? There's really no surgery that exists. If you just have the basic, what's it called when it's age-related? Can you Google it? What's the technical term for like age-related vision loss when it's nearsighted? There's like a technical term for it. Someone will get it for me in just a sec.
Presbyopia?
Yeah, presbyopia, something like that. People say you can maybe get surgery. And actually, one of the interesting things, I went to one of the best guys in Miami, who I'm told is one of the best guys in the country when it comes to this. And they do the full eye check. He said, there's 100% nothing wrong with my eye structurally or anything else. He said, this is just like the age thing that comes in. They were like, there are some things that they can maybe do by surgery that have very low rates that he wouldn't even want to do on someone's eye that was structurally sound, that for whatever reason, the results of the surgery actually are better on females than they are for males. So it's just one of those things, like, if I'm at a dark restaurant, I gotta do it. But what I refuse to do, and I will never do, and you guys can shoot me dead. We went out to that restaurant, we went to this Italian place. I took the team out the other night. And was it you? Who, when I was looking at the menu, busted out it was you.
No, I don't think
No, who was it?
it was Joseph.
No, it was you.
No.
It wasn't one of you. I'm holding the menu. I can't see a damn thing. Dark Italian restaurant. And one of you busted out the flashlight on the phone. Who did it?
Was it me?
No, it wasn't you. You were sitting. No, it was you. You were sitting to my right. Yes, Connor. It was you. You were sitting to my right. As if I'm Grandpa going out. They took me out of the home once a month. We'll take Grandpa out. We'll be in bed by 6. He busted out, and I almost hit you. It was the only time in all the years we've been together, I almost hit him. I just will not. I would rather just point at a menu item and say, bring me that, even if it's the shellfish that's gonna kill me because of the allergy. I'd rather go down with the ship than be one of those old people with the... Anyway, guys. Yes.
Reached a few.
Oh, I'm gonna read a couple others here. I love the fact, this is so great because I'm just seeing these for the first time. And again, I'm getting to see. So take a look at that bottle right there and see the unique label. And now that's J.E. Russell, and jump to the next one. Yeah, so they're all just slightly different. Some of them, the swoops of the colors will be massively different. That one, you can see the orange to the, whatever you want to call it, orangish yellow is like a little bit thinner there. That's James. Very nice, very nice. Just opened. Oh, hey, there I am. Hot damn. Oh, I like that glass. I'm going with a very simple, thin glass right here. Oh, that's nice too. Very nice, guys. Yeah, thank you. Really, guys, I mean it. Thank you for making this thing a success. We really had no idea. Now we got a whole bunch of good problems on our hands as we scale this thing and everything else. Wait, women have ocular privilege? Darn it, I want to raise. Yes, apparently, if you're a woman and you have that basic vision thing, you can get lasered in one of your eyes and maybe the results will be a little bit better. That's what they're telling me. All right, let's see. Oh, this is an interesting one. Our tequila-loving friends who give us tequila as a gift all the time, we got 2 bottles to give them, but they are lefties, wondering how they will react when they find out it's from Dave Rubin. Good luck. Well, what I would do is give them the tequila, say, wow, we just came across this incredible tequila, it's really wonderful. Have them try the tequila. I promise you, the tequila is gonna knock their socks off. And then be like, read the label. And then they'll see it's for me. And then they'll have no choice but to become a crazy right-wing radical. That's how you convert people, basically. Let's see. All right, anything else? Anything else, guys? Give me one final thing. Swallow the tequila pill. That's pretty good. What else? Man, watermelon's the answer, I'm telling you. And you're getting hydrated at the exact same time. Okay. I have to go because I have a business meeting to attend to about an hour from now. I thank you all for watching. I thank you for taking part in this. I thank you, and again, really appreciate the patience for those of you that didn't get your bottles. I know it's not the most fun thing in the world to probably watch me drink tequila while yours is somewhere en route, but you'll have it. If you were in that first batch, you'll have it by next week. And again, if you want to jump on the crazy train and get our second batch, which will not have the delays and all that stuff, you can sign up at drinkcopal.com. We'll try to do as many of these Tequila Tuesdays as we can. The next one will be next Tuesday, the 22nd of July, and then we'll try for one more before I head off the grid, but I can't promise because we're doing so many things. And I mentioned, it was largely a secret, but I think the secret got out there already, that AI Dave will be hosting the Rubin Report at 11 a.m. on, yeah, I'm telling the people. I'm doing it. Had a little tequila. We created an AI version of me. It is literally me, dressed like me, at the desk. AI Dave will get the stories of the day while I'm gone and do the show. It'll be some version, a condensed version of the show. But we've done it. We've been testing it. It's super cool. I don't think anyone's done anything like this before. I wonder if we can get AI Dave to have a little Copal. I'm gonna have to talk to the engineers. We'll see what happens. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Cheers. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And we're back at it at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Adios.